Hey there, boys and girls. Miss McGinnis here. I just wanted to make a quick video to go over our answers to our questions for day 1 and day 2 of Awesome. I don't think we're going to have time to go over those answers during our Zoom session on Friday because we have some special things in store. So this video hopefully will be something that if you're not able to Zoom, you can replay at any time to make sure that your questions were correct, and maybe go back and change your answers, or just make sure that you understand the text as a whole. So day 1 of Awesome was Tuesday's reading assignment, and then day 2 of Awesome was Wednesday's reading assignment, and day 2 is the one that was required to be turned in for the week. So we're going to start with our day 1 questions of Awesome. Even though this text is an easier text, these questions require some deeper thinking. These are 3rd and 4th grade level questions we're asking about the text. So when we ask questions that are more complex or more difficult, it's easier to use easier texts to help us. So let's look here. The first question is, what words and phrases help you understand Marvin's character, and what words and phrases help you understand Woody's character? Well, to understand that, we need to read a little bit of the text. So we're introduced to Marvin and Woody, and we know that they're friends, but that doesn't tell us about our character. However, page 2 and 3 really tell us about Marvin. Marvin rescued a forest friend from danger. It was awesome. So on these pages, we see that he's a rescuer and he's awesome. Those are words to describe his character. Then when it goes on, it continues to say that his brave act spread throughout the forest and the brave moose became a local hero. That last sentence right there is really a great piece of text evidence to support the character of Marvin. What words and phrases describe Marvin? Marvin is a brave moose and a local hero. Now let's see what words and phrases describe Woody. So Woody is always on hand to help Marvin. And when we look at the picture, we can see in the illustrations, he's helping him make a cape. So he is a helper. That phrase helps us to understand. And I can also infer that if he is willing to help his friend, then he's a good friend as well. We also see on these pages a little bit more about Marvin. We learned that Marvin trains every day with his best friend by his side. That sentence helps us learn about both of our characters. That's great text evidence about Marvin because it helps us to understand Marvin is a hard worker. But it's also great text evidence about Woody because it helps us to understand that he's a great friend. Let's go on to our second question as well. How did Marvin become the local hero? Well, to answer that, we have to go back. Remember how he became the local hero? He became the local hero by rescuing a forest friend from danger. Now, the words in the text don't tell us how he rescued a forest friend from danger, but the pictures do. You can see Squirrel jumped into the water, and that is how Moose rescued him from the water. So that is how he became a local hero. Moving on, question number 3. Why was Woody feeling left out? To answer that question, we need to go to the part of the text where it says he's feeling left out. So we know he continues by his side, but then let's continue on. It says, didn't take long before Marvin received his first call for help. See, it says Marvin and Woody, friends forever. After that, Marvin went from a local hero to a forest celebrity, and a statue was built in appreciation of his awesomeness. Nothing here in the words tell us about Woody and why Woody's feeling left out, but the illustration tells us everything. Look at Marvin over here. He's got a cape on, everybody's cheering for him, everybody's standing around his statue, and look at Woody off to the side. He's away from everybody, and he's got a sad look on his face. So that's helping us to know that he's feeling left out. As we read on, we learn why he's feeling left out. It says, meanwhile, Woody was missing his old friend who is now far too popular to spend time with him. In fact, Woody was feeling quite left out. So the reason why Woody is feeling left out is because Marvin is too busy, is too popular to hang out with his friend anymore. Also, because everybody carries on about how great Marvin is. He says, all I ever hear is how great Marvin is. And he says, I can do great things too, but nobody was listening. This illustration shows us he's feeling left out because he's walking away, head down. And then I want you to notice something. What happened to the heart on the sign? Now all of a sudden they've added a question mark, like Marvin and Woody, friends forever, as if it's in question, because we can see all of these popular wanted signs are showing how great Marvin is, which is making him feel like he's not best friends with his friend anymore. That final question for day 1 is, how do the illustrations contribute to our understanding of the characters on those pages? So those were the only pages you were supposed to read on day 1, and you were supposed to give 1 to 2 specific examples about the pictures. I think we already talked a little bit about the pictures, but one way they contribute to our understanding is right here. We can see what good friends they are. They do everything together. Then we can continue to see that Woody feels left out, but that Marvin is praised. We can see they're best friends right here by the heart. But then we see that things start to change as he starts to feel sad and feel left out, and there's a question mark there. So those are some specific examples from the pictures that help us to understand the text better and what's happening between Woody and Marvin. We're going to transition now to day 2's answers to the questions. This was Wednesday's reading assignment, and that was your required assignment for the week. Question number 1. Based on what we know about Woody, what can we infer is the reason he's up to no good on page 16 and 17? A lot of you are asking what were those page numbers. I always post those page numbers on Edsby so you can see them in the notes section. But when you look at page 16 and 17, we realize that, well, let's look here. So Woody decides to get some attention of his own. It says things spiraled out of control. Let's look at the illustrations and see what spirals out of control here. So he's dropping some things down on the sleeping fox, and over here he's looking, he's kicking the pile of acorns that the squirrel has. And you know, beavers are good at gnawing wood, and so he chews the wood and knocks the bear in his head. So he definitely is getting some attention of his own, but possibly not such great attention. It says, the following day a forest meeting was called. More than one local resident had something not so awesome to say about Woody. So they're all kind of gathered around. You can look at their pictures on their faces. They're not exactly feeling too great about Woody right now. And so Marvin couldn't believe that his friend was up to no good. So let's take a look at what that up to no good is. Deep in the forest, Woody was up to no good. Something that would be sure to get him noticed. So the question is, what can we infer on these pages? What can we infer is the reason why he's up to no good? Well, let's look at what he's doing in the pictures first. Look at the statue of his friend. He is gnawing it off, chewing it off, breaking it into pieces. He's like, hee hee hee, and he's wheeling it off. And so Marvin realized that his neighbors were right because he has destroyed the statue of Marvin. What can we infer? Why would he have destroyed the statue of Marvin? Well, it's because he's jealous. He wants attention of his own. The text says he wanted attention of his own. He was tired of Marvin getting all the attention, and he was feeling left out. So he decided to destroy the statue of Marvin and do away with it to get some attention of his own, and probably to take some attention away from Marvin. And he did that, we can infer, because he is jealous. Number 2, how did Woody's feelings change after he was rescued by Marvin? So he continues to go hide the evidence, right? But what happens is he's trying to hide it behind the tree, but the cart kind of takes off and goes down the hill. The wagon goes down the hill and starts to crash into things. And he's like, oh no, what have I done? So now he realizes like he maybe didn't make that best choice. And so Marvin leaps to help rescue them. And in the process, so does Woody. He goes to follow behind, and they crash into things. And then we realize that Marvin saved a family of bunnies, and it was talking about how truly awesome it is. But Woody noticed that not all the bunnies were rescued, and he actually helped save some other bunnies. So now Woody has been a little awesome. Now, this is the page really where we get that answer to question number 2. How did his feelings change after he was rescued by Marvin? So when they sit down to talk, he realizes that he's caused trouble. He said, but then Woody says, but you helped to save the day. And so he realizes that he doesn't need to be jealous of Marvin, that they can be pals and kind of work together to save the day, rather than to just be jealous and to do bad things, so that they could work together to do good things. Okay? Moving on, number 3, how do the illustrations contribute to our understanding of the characters' feelings? On these pages, give 1 to 2 specific examples. Well, we can see that they go from feeling very upset back here, mischievous and upset, right? He's being mischievous, Woody is. Then he's upset because, like, what did I do? He's covering his face. We see that he is destroying that. In this illustration, we see he's destroying the statue. Nothing in the text tells us he's destroying the statue, but we can see it by the picture. So that's a really good detail to say that we can learn. We can learn what's actually happening to that wagon, and then we can see how he is feeling on that page, how he's regretting it. We can see how Moose leaps into action and how Woody comes behind them. On this page, we wouldn't have known that what happened without that picture, that everything crashes. So I'm giving several examples here. We can see that once again, he's a hero. That is supported by the words also, but then we can see that Woody ends up becoming a hero. We can see them high-fiving each other to show that they're great friends again. So hopefully those are several specific examples that could support your answer to question number 3. And then the final question, why might the illustrator have included the illustration on page 30 of the new statue? So that new statue at the end, so let's go back here, right? Because our friend Woody decides that he can chomp, chomp, chomp and help to make things better, because he says, I can fix this. And so he uses his teeth to make a new statue. And so it says awesome. So now he's got a new statue, and let's look at it. Now we see that it's not just Marvin, it's Woody and Marvin. It says Marvin and Woody, friends forever. So our answer to question number 4. Why did the illustrator include the picture of the new statue? So that we can see that Marvin and Woody are both awesome in their own way, and that together the Moose and Woody, Marvin and Woody, make great friends and are both awesome together. So hopefully that answers some of your questions, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys on Zoom on Friday. I will send out more details about that. Hopefully this video helps you to answer any questions that maybe you had. I will talk to you soon. Thanks.